All right. Welcome to the stream. It's a brand new year, and it's time for a new game. Sort of, not really. We're going to be starting up something new, though, something I've never played, in a sense, but we're going to keep with the Team Eco games, and we are going to get into the Shadow of the Colossus remake from, I don't know when this game came out. It was like 2016, I think, maybe? Something like that. But we have been playing through the Team Eco games since a couple weeks ago. We started with Eco, then we moved on to the original Shadow of the Colossus, and then we did The Last Guardian, which we just finished up a couple days ago on New Year's Eve. And now we are going to do the remake, which I don't know that Gen Design had anything to do with this. And like I said before on the previous streams, Team Eco was disbanded from this point onward. But Japan Studio, I think, had something to do with this game. Primarily, though, it was created by Bluepoint. Talked about them in the past. Hell, I've even streamed a few Bluepoint games in my many years of streaming, so they don't have too many, but they're big on remasters and remakes, so I don't think they've ever done anything original. Maybe like one game, but other than that, I don't think they have. But yeah, it's sort of an interesting thing here. I have never played, nor have I don't think I've ever seen anyone play this. And, I'm sure many people have streamed it before, but, I've just not been on the lookout for this game. When I heard it was being made, it completely passed me by and was not really paying attention, nor was I interested. But considering that we've just gone through the trilogy of games that were developed by Team Eco, still kind of in the mood for them, and I got my curiosity piqued, and now gonna finally try it out. We'll see what it's like. 2018, that's when this game came out, so just a couple years shy from their Demon Souls remake. That was a launch title on the PS5, so I guess they were busy with this for a while. But let's go ahead and get things started here. I think we are all ready to go. Also, the hate emote is gone, really. Let me see. I see it on my end. I'll double check it after the stream's over. And I don't know, maybe Twitch is being funky. Sometimes it does things like that on occasion. But yeah, hopefully they didn't get rid of it. I know sometimes they ban emotes on Twitch, like if they're too suggestive or something, but that was literally just a PNG of Navi, and it said the lettering "hey" underneath it, so I don't know why it would be doing that. What's up, Hank? Welcome back. Here, I'll test it in chat myself. See, there it is. I don't know. You could try reloading it, or maybe just Twitch is being weird on your end or something. But it seems to be working for me. But anyway, let's go ahead and get things started here. Let's see what this is all about. Probably would help to unmute the game as well. Hope you're having a good evening or day, as the case may be, Hank. Good to see you here. All right, so Japan Studio did work on this. Again, Team Eco was sort of like a branch development team from Japan Studio. I don't know if anybody in Japan Studio nowadays had anything to do with the Team Eco games, but their hands were still kind of in it at some point. Oh no, I beat Last Guardian a couple days ago. We beat it like right as midnight hit for the new year. That took about 3 streams. Oh, you're good, don't worry about it. VODs should be up if you're curious, but other than that, yeah, pretty fun game. Still need to sit back and think on it for a bit. I don't know where my placement of it would be with the trilogy, but I think I might like the previous two a little bit more, but still, I thought it was a pretty good game. Enjoyed the playthrough. Visually, this all looks weird. You never really saw any of the Forbidden Lands at night, necessarily, so this is kind of strange. The music doesn't sound any different. Like, it almost sounds like they took the same tracks. I don't know if they've been remastered or... You know, those games are so old. The original was 2005. Sometimes game files, when they're done, depending on the studio, they just toss everything that was used to make it right out the window. And that's why we have, like, some forms of lost media and why some games can't get remade anymore, because those source files are just forever gone. But the music sounds fine. Like I said, it sounds exactly like the original, so... So at some point we will be going back to, probably after I beat this one, but we'll be going back to the original Shadow of the Colossus. I'm going to do a couple things, including climbing the tower, maybe show off some of the items and stuff you can unlock. So all the little extra bits will be mostly covered. Maybe we'll go visit the Eco Beach or something like that, but we'll be returning to the original game for a bit anyway. This just reminded me of it because when I was playing a little bit on my own time to get some of the time attack mode stuff done on hard mode, and I ended up climbing the tower and walking across that bridge. Takes a full, like, God, I want to say it was longer than 10 minutes to get across. It took a long ass time. I recorded it and sped it up, but it took a while to get over there, just to kind of have a recording of that so I wouldn't forget what happens. I don't think we'll be doing that on stream just because it's not all that interesting, but it is doable. What sort of options do we have? Show dormant hints, tutorials, enable photo mode. Don't care about that. Display, screen brightness, got performance mode, motion blur. Let's turn that, maybe not all the way off, but let's reduce it. Sometimes a little bit of blur is good, but it's usually not so great. Got several different filters. That's interesting. Complementary. Actually, an ass load of filters. Jeez. Like right off the bat, too. Film grain sometimes is nice, but not super concerned with that. Midnight mode, no. Headphones is good. Camera, let's hope. I don't know. I've heard that the controls are reworked for this one, so let's hope that the camera works normally. Control horses triangles. That's no longer jump. Jump is X. That seems sacrilegious, considering that all the Team Eco games use triangles jump button. Language, text in English, subtitles in English. Don't give a shit about no copyright. Image gallery, huh? Gotta beat Colossi. Different difficulty levels to unlock this kind of stuff. Comparison images between the original and the remake, I suppose. Alright, everything looks as it should. I think I'm going to lower the volume down by about 10%, but otherwise I think we're ready to go. I was kind of curious if you could do hard mode right off the bat. Sort of would have been nice, but don't think that's going to be possible. Just to give me... Oh, no, it is. Let's try it. Since we beat the original, I don't know how different this is going to be. I hear it's fairly similar, but we could try it on hard mode and see if it gives me a little extra challenge. Getting hard. Yes, sir. I did recently sort of technically play this game on hard since I did the time attack mode on hard. Which is actually, it should be harder than actually going through the main game on the hard setting, because in the main game you can boost your health and your stamina by getting lizards and fruits and stuff. And in time attack mode, you're set at a limit, which, especially early on, is not forgiving. Hardest one was Colossus 3. That was the biggest pain in the ass. And it's mostly because of the time constraint. You have to... Colossus 3 is the one with the big, kind of like sword weapon. And normally you'd have to get him to smash that against a stone panel that's up in the canopy there, which cracks off a bit of his armor, which you can use the space to climb up his arm. But in time attack mode, you don't got time for that shit. So you have to use the momentum of him picking the sword out of the ground to flip onto his arm. And that took some getting used to. That took a little bit of work before I could actually get it to a point where I did it in a satisfactory way and quick enough. But still, I think I'm confident in my ability to handle this game on hard mode. Ooh. Wander looking a little chubby-cheeked. Yeah, he looks a little off. It's alright, it's not the end of the world. I will say, though, that as far as Blue Point remakes go, usually when they remake a character model, it does not look better than the original. I don't think I've seen a case of that yet. Played through most of Demon Souls, seen all that. Most of the stuff they do are remasters, so they typically use the same models that were in the originals, but when they're building something from the ground up, which I think they've only done a few of, doesn't always look that great. That place began from the resonance of intersecting points. It was interesting. Their memories are placed by ends and knots and etched into stone. Blood, young sprouts, sky. And the one with the ability to control beings created from light. In that world, it is said that if one should wish it, one can bring back the souls of the dead. But to trespass upon that land is strictly forbidden. Hence the Forbidden Land. Mono pretty much looks the same, right? Can't do too much to change a dead girl, though, I suppose. Thou possess the ancient sword? The feminine voice on Dorman sounds more prominent this time around. So, thou art mortal. Are you Dorman? I don't remember Wander talking, actually. I was told that in this place, at the ends of the world, there exists a being who can control the souls of the dead, as that was explained in the intro. Thou art correct. We are the one known as Dorman. Oh, maybe he did talk. She was sacrificed for she had a cursed fate. Please, I need you to bring back her soul. There was, because that part got disclosed at some point. Might be the only instance of him talking, though. That maiden's soul? Souls that are once lost cannot be reclaimed. Is that not the law of mortals? That sword, however, it may not be impossible. Really? That is, of course, if thou manage to accomplish what we asketh. What do I have to do? Behold the idols that stand along the wall. Thou art to destroy all of them. But those idols cannot be destroyed by the mere hands of a mortal. What am I to do? In this land, there exist Colossi that are the incarnations of those idols. Thou defeat those Colossi. The idols shall fall. I understand. But heed this. The price you pay may be heavy indeed. Doesn't matter. Very well. Raise thy sword by the light. And head to the place where the sword's light gathers. There thou shalt find the Colossi thou art to defeat. I don't like some of the voice effects on the female. Sounds like they're doing a remix with it. Now, be on thy way. Oops. Yeah, circle is no longer the wield the sword button. X is jump, which is a little more normalized. In a sunlit place, hold up the sword using R1. So R1 is not the grip button. That's going to be weird. I could have looked a little closer. But let's see what we're in for. R2 is grab. Aim with R1. Camera focus. Let's see. Modern remapped. Classic. You know what? I might just, I don't know. For normalcy's sake, I might even switch to classic since they have this here. Modern remapped. Let me see. Camera zoom. Photo mode. Change weapon. Unequip. Oof. Rotate camera. Attack. Control horse. Action jump. What is the aim button? On classic, is there no aim? Like, I don't see an aim. Oh, you know what? Maybe with, So if we're doing modern remapped. Oh, we still gotta switch weapons. I don't know. It's weird. Yeah, just for normalcy's sake, I think I might actually just switch. Because it's what I'm used to the classic controls. And the camera does not need to be inverted like it did in the original. So it's not 100% true to classic, but maybe that has more to do with the camera options than anything. Ultimately, this, I mean, it looks good, but, you know, I'm not seeing any major differences here. I'm not, like, super impressed by the visuals, but I guess this game is a few years old by this point. Boy, his shouts and stuff sound exactly the same. Wonder if they got the same voice actor. Anyway, we won't do anything like major extra, I think, for the first one. That map. But I will go ahead and grab some fruits. Whining about. Aggro sounds different. Yeah, there's only one fruit on this tree, isn't there? They don't want to give you too much right off the bat, I guess. Fruit of the land. I was actually, I plugged in the PS3 version, which actually, Bluepoint worked on that one as well, but I think Team Eco, who was still Team Eco at the time, had done a lot of the footwork. I mean, obviously, it was using the original game as basis, but I plugged in the HD version. I mean, there's a slight changes here and there that I'm not too fond of, but there's some that are good, like some UI changes, such as the targeting reticle. I think they either made it orange or yellow or something, and in the original it was like green. I remember it blending into the background too much. But that might be the definitive way to play the game, to be quite honest, because we played the original PS2 version, and I do not remember it running quite as bad as it does. Like I said, sometimes we get some like crispy 9 frames a second, or maybe even worse in that game. It's playable, but yeah, it gets a little weird sometimes. Doesn't run so great. So, the PS3 HD collection version that comes paired with Eco runs pretty smooth and consistently. I couldn't quite tell if it was 30 or 60 frames, but whatever it was, it looked fine. And it was consistent with the couple of Colossus that I played. So, you know, if anyone's looking for like a true to original experience, but something that runs pretty well. PS3 version ain't bad. But here we go. First Colossus. Most everything's the same, from like the camera angles, the visuals. I've seen that the Colossus got reworked a little bit. Ain't the target. I just get a trophy for everything, huh? The interesting thing when it comes to hard mode is that, which we didn't get to see because we played it in normal mode in the original, but hard mode has usually one, sometimes even like 2 additional weak points for the Colossus. And they take a lot more to damage them. Like a lot more. So, over here, buddy. Has got like a pretty surprising reach. Boy, that even still took out a little bit of damage. Weak points are much more obvious. Hold up thy sword, reflect light onto the Colossus, its vitals shall be revealed. That they still have the circular stamina meter. I was a little worried they'd change it to a bar or something. But pretty true to form. So you could tell, like with this weak point here, this is going down a lot slower than the normal mode from what we observed in the original game. But, you know, the original game, same kind of thing. Just hard mode, I guess I should make the differentiation. Opposed to like normal or original. So that's kind of weird that it does now, but in the original version of the game, the emblem makes a bright white flash pretty much before it dissipates. Attack its leg in order to cut a path for thyself. What, did they reveal it that obviously in the original? I remember them saying, like, attack this weak point. There we go. I mean, that dormant hint might have been in the original, I don't know. But yeah, I don't remember that one ever popping up for me. Well, believe it or not, those dark streams actually look better in the original. There's like more of them and they look a little more violent. Here they're just like wispy clouds. I don't know what the hell this is. It looks like we're going through an anal cavity. I preferred like the starry warp of the original too. I'm not here to piss and moan about remakes either. By and large, I'm fine with remakes. You can go back and watch my streams for, you know, some of the games from last year that had remakes, like Dead Space and Resident Evil 4. You know, when I call something out, it's because it's how I actually feel. I'm not looking for stuff to complain about. But yeah, some of those visuals didn't look so great, especially compared to the original. Once again, I hold the original Shadow of Colossus in very high regard. I would say that's probably easily one of my top 10 games. But if I see something I like, I'll mention it too. It's not just the stuff that I don't. The next foe is in the seaside cave. It moves slowly. Raise thy courage to defeat it. My courage is raised to a fine peak. I wonder, do they have the credits aren't selectable? I don't think they were selectable from the main menu either. There was copyright, but copyright isn't credits. Because in the original manual, it actually has the credits here. Boy, not only did it have the credits, but it had like who was playing clarinet, and like the whole band for the orchestra, and who was all involved with that. But again, Wander is played in the original, because I still got the original here with the manual. Wander is played by Kenji Nojima. So let me Google him real quick. Is there behind the voice actors? So let's take a look at 2018 when this game came out. Do they have it? I don't see him credited. Because they got a hell of a sound alike. If, I don't know. It's like, Behind the Voice Actors has a 2005 game, but they don't have like the, they don't have the remake. I'm wondering if they just like pulled the audio from the original game, or if they actually re-recorded these. Let me see. They've got it on... okay. It is archived. The only new... Oh, no, not even that. I was going to say the only new voice, I think, is the female doorman, but they call it archive footage, which I think means that they just pulled the original files. So that's probably why it sounds so close, which is what I was thinking anyway. Because I'm like, I was like, they either got the same guy to do the voice here, or they just reused the same files. So I think that's what they did. I mean, hey, if you don't gotta like change things up too much. They definitely rearranged the mixing on Dorman though. Like I said, the female voice is much more present. So thou should findst an altar similar to that one. Offer a prayer before it, and thy wound shall be healed. You got it, buddy. Let's do a little roving here. I don't think the second Colossus is anything really to worry about too much, but let me see if I can find one of them old lizards or something.
Yeah.
I remember there being one like on a cliffside around here. It might actually be the one that I passed up.
Yeah.
Actually, I think it's this. This looks pretty similar. There it is. Still in the same spot. The lizards even make noise. Like you could hear their feet pattering on the ground, but then they also like make some weird little vocal cry. Mods. Crushes balls. Thank you. That works. See if I get that tail. When I was messing around in the original game and looking to max out my stamina bar, where the hell did aggro go? Never wanders this far out. I was wondering, and it almost seemed like it, if you shoot the tail off and the tail off only, where the hell is aggro? I was wondering anyway if it could regrow back and you could revisit the location. And where the hell were you? You could revisit the location and then grab another tail off the lizard. And I almost thought it to actually be the case because I did it at a couple shrines, and when I returned to a couple shrines, there was a lizard there with a tail that you could shoot off again. But I think the case is that there are multiple lizards, in fact, at some of the shrines, and that's probably what I saw, because there was a few that I kept going back to, and the lizards just, like, their tails never regrew. And what sort of also sucks about that is they remain on the map, because you can get a item once you complete a couple time attack Colossi, and it'll show you when you're within range, it'll show you on the map if there's a lizard nearby that you can lob a tail off of and increase your stamina bar with. So if you strictly go after the tail, though, it'll still register the lizard on the map, despite the fact that you already grabbed the tail, and it doesn't seem like there's any chance of it like regrowing at any point. So kind of shitty. In the end, probably just best to kill him as opposed to shoot the tail off only, but doesn't matter too much, especially if you're playing on a first run. Yeah, basically just a heads up. If anybody plans on doing some lizard hunting at some point, they're still going to be on the map even if you just shoot the tail off. It's nice that the feature's included. I do like that there's specific damage points. It is sort of nice to see these guys in full motion, although, you know, when the frames are consistent, there is a sort of cinematic quality to having it run at like 24 frames a second. I know some people hate that, but, you know, like I said, as long as it's consistent, I never mind it. Gonna have to be the leg. There it is. A little low for my liking. See if that changes anything. What's up, Mythical? A little early for a GG, but I do appreciate the sentiment. How you doing tonight? Thank you for the optimism. It is only the second Colossus. Shouldn't be too bad, right? He's draining out the stamina, though. Fortunately, he doesn't move around too much, so plenty of opportunities to stand up and recollect. Yeah, I mean, apparently it did fairly well, but I feel like a lot of people did forget that they remade this game. So far, I mean, there haven't been that many changes, to the point where, like, I just looked it up. They're even reusing, I think they reused the same soundtrack. The soundtrack, I don't believe, got re-recorded. And I just looked it up, and they're even reusing the same voice files from the original game. So, you know, everything sounds exactly like it did in the original game. It's basically, it's a Blue Point game, so visual upgrade only, I'm sure. But I'm sure it wasn't, you know, that memorable of a remake, but still fairly successful regardless. It's an updated way to play it, I suppose. The most egregious thing is that Wander is a lot uglier. Oh, that was the last point. Okay. He's got another one then. I think, I forget where it is. It's been a while since I didn't have to do this time attack, because it was already done, but I think it's on the arm. Or one of the legs. Maybe not this one in particular. What's up, Galnary? How you doing? Good to see ya. Figure out where this point was. I don't think it's on the... Actually, it might even be on this leg. Who knows? drop, actually. I was not prepared for a third one. Let's see what we got. Where is this last one? I don't know, they're kind of like showing me on the side or something. Shit, I missed my opportunity. Let me check on the side here. What's this? Oh, it's on the side of the body. That's where it is. Hopefully from here on out I'll remember where all the rest of them are, because like I said, I just did the time attack mode on hard with the original game, so I don't think it'll be... Oh, you can't even grab onto that? Wow. I don't think it'll be too difficult to manage. He's got that little ass point there, and I thought it was just out of reach because we weren't able to jump that high. I figured I'd be able to get to it with aggro, but apparently not the case. Damage. Got to drop from that one. Stamina not high enough. Actually aiming too low. Very close to getting it too. I think one more full stab should probably do it. Mammoth. I didn't get a chance to call. It does. I think that's what I called it when we first got to it. The cow Colossi. Thy next foe is giant canopy soars in the heavens. The anger of the sleeping giant shatters the earth. fairly brisk pace compared to when I was doing the original not long ago. 2 done within an hour, plus cutscenes and everything. Not bad, not bad. I don't think I want to mess around too much with this particular version. I would like to keep it down to probably 2 streams for this game. That being said, I don't want to play as long as I was playing with the original, which was like 4, almost like 5 hours, I think, in one case, per stream. Because you fool around long enough, or, you know, you forget how to play the game or whatever, or you're playing it for a long time, or for the first time, I should say. You know, it's a 10-12 hour game. And we were hitting up little extra bits and doing a bunch of other stuff, so it took a little longer than usual, I think. But yeah, I would like to keep this one down. At most, I think I'll probably do like 3 hours for this stream tonight. We'll see. But if there's like a shrine or something on the way, I'll see if I can get the lizard. Or if there's something on the way to one of these colossi, where I remember there being a point of interest, or there's fruit or lizard or something, I'll make a stop, but I'm not going to go out of my way like I was doing before, exploring and such. I do think I would probably play a little bit on my own time, though, just to make sure that I am getting, you know, some extra stuff. We'll get a couple lizards here and there. I'm not going to go gung-ho with it. I'm not planning on climbing the tower. At least on stream with this version. If I'm doing that with any of them, it's going to be the original. So we'll hit that up at some point, but not too crazy about, you know, necessarily needing to do that with this one. I'm sure it'll unlock a trophy or something. I'm sure that they've got all that planned out, and every little extra thing that you could do with the original one, probably be able to do with this one, and they'll reward you with trophies for it, so it's always nice. What have we got going on here? Where is he? The original, the lizards were almost always climbing on the shrine. And rarely were they on the ground around it. However, I'm not seeing one here. It might be because of the frame rate, I don't know, but it feels a lot easier to move around. There he is. Let me tell you, in the HD remaster, for whatever reason, the lizards zipped. They were so fast. They would zip around these shrines. Actually, a lot harder to hit them. And that might be a frame rate related thing. I don't know. Sometimes with some games, when you increase the frame rate of something, it will actually make animations move faster. Sometimes it'll have detriments on the game itself, too. Like, I remember with Dark Souls 2, people hated the fact that you couldn't up the game to run at 60, because it would cause the weapon degradation to move much more rapidly. Which I don't know if that ever got fixed or not. I was always fine playing the game at 30, but 30 was what it was supposed to be locked at, and if you unlock those frames, it would kind of screw you over. This path looking a lot more rocky. Kind of a pain until you get the sunlight sword or whatever it is, because you can't actually collect any sunlight here, so it's a little hard to tell where you're going sometimes. You gotta whip around here a couple times. You can access the canopy from this back way, but it's not like a straight shot or anything.
Yeah.
Rocky Mountains. A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit more shrubbery around here, too. I think we maybe just double back from this point. So I know there's another path, too, that you could go a little bit further down.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's see where we're at. Gotta go that way, so as soon as we can turn, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe here.
Yeah.
We should come up the opposite end. I think when I did this, the original, we just went for the straight shot. Looped around from the entrance of the canyon, as opposed to going in a little bit further. But there are, I think with almost every Colossus, outside of maybe like the final one and the one with the beard, there are multiple ways to access their resting points.
Yeah. Yeah.
Launched me nearly as far as I thought it would, but that's all right. Swimming underwater, weird. It doesn't really seem to move me that much faster than swimming on the surface. Feels like in the original, it moves you like almost double the speed. Or if they're trying to trick me or something. Doesn't actually do anything at all. I remember there was I think there was a Twitter post a while back, a few years ago, where there was a game developer that said, I've got a confession to make. It's like I worked on a game and the run animation didn't actually move you any faster. We just put speed lines on it and changed the animation to make you think you were moving faster. Showed a video of it. Character did not move any faster than he was moving originally. Thank you, Akiri. I appreciate the lurk. Hope you're doing well. All right, here he is. I think I'm going to try it to see if we can flip up off of the sword onto his arm. Because that's what I had to do in order to do the time attack mode, and it was not easy. I'll try it like once or twice and see if we can do it. Just for the hell of it. But if I can't, I'm going to have to have him smash his arm in there. Shit. I'll find out what these are. I still took damage from that. Son of a bitch. Nope, that did not lift me. There's a very particular point in time where you have to jump to. Otherwise, it's not gonna work. And it is so hard to get the timing down right. It was the hardest thing I had to do, no joke. I think anything in this game, it was the hardest thing I had to do. Was to jump off of the sword onto his arm within, do it in one shot so that it was done within the time attack time. It took like an hour before I finally got it. Not angry. He's not getting angry. That was just too close. Come on, put the sword in. Not that way. So fortunately with time attack mode, you can like restart at any point. You can open up the pause menu and restart the thing. So, you know, quicker way to go about doing it, but still kind of a pain in the ass. But yeah, you would not be able to linger around with this much time going on. You have to do it on the first time you smash the sword into the ground. Armor it wears seems brittle. Knock it to the ground to break it. He doesn't want to use the sword though. He just wants to come up close to me. It's weird. Sometimes whistling will make them angry too, or get them to act. Doesn't seem to be working with this guy. This is taking too long. It's taking so long that I think I'm just gonna do the traditional way. See, it's almost like he's keyed to do it exactly there. Oh no, it didn't even break. You didn't hit it. Alright. Rolling around. Still a little bit too close for this. Yeah, I still didn't hit the thing. Okay, that got me a little bit more height. It feels weird though. Something feels off about the jump on it. Because normally, you know, you center your gravity and you crouch like this, and he should be able to stand on the sword without stumbling. At least we broke it. If I do a time attack mode or something like that, then maybe I'll take a look and see if I can do that. But yeah, something doesn't feel right with it in this one. So probably a whole other form of experimentation. The old place where I stood in the original game probably isn't going to work with this one, if I had to guess. But we got the armor broken, so I can just run up like normal. So with time attack, there's sort of a particular order you need to go into because it doesn't really work all that well otherwise. But usually go for the torso because it's easy to get from the torso to the arm. Harder to get from the head down to the torso or the arm. torso here. There we go. Got 3 points, so it's also very easy to recover stamina from this one. 3 points, so we just gotta wait until it goes down by a third. What I don't like about this remake version is it's not super obvious when the weak point no longer takes damage. In the original, like I said, it flashes like a brighter white for a second. I'm not seeing that being the case with this one. It dissipates fairly quickly, but it doesn't have that like bright white flash. Be careful with that jump to the torso to the arm too. Had I not broken the shackle off of him, I don't know that I would have made it there. Okay, so after doing the torso, usually a good idea to go for the head. The head, it's easier to get off of the head and recover stamina. If you go for the arm second, you're not going to be able to climb up and recover stamina sometimes. The problem with the head is that it shakes you relentlessly. Cover for a second. Sometimes standing in the arm is the best point. I feel like the stamina recovers super quick in this version too. I don't remember recovering quite as fast, but maybe that's just because I don't have too much right now. I don't know. It's either that or they greatly improved their stamina recovery speed. We're pretty damn low. I mean, it doesn't even look like there's a third left of the health bar. Okay, stand on the shoulder, gain some stamina. Can drop onto this, all the better. Shit. I screwed it up. Oops. Get angry. I do love some of the noises. I don't know if I love the Colossus noises. They seem a little muted. Shit. But I like the creaking. The creaking and the sound of stone sounds nice. Stop chasing around the rim here. Need to cut across, I think, because we're not going to throw the sword down when there's too much space. Sometimes in the original, I think it must work in this one too, but in the original you could like roll to negate stumbling. Vibrating there for a second. I remember the landscape on this one being a lot foggier. Now that's probably because of the draw distance. You probably couldn't see too far out, but it felt like it was foggier with a lot less light in the original. And this one it almost feels like it's a clear day or something. Wake the night. I'm actually gonna mute myself and run out for a sec while the cutscene plays, so no narration over the next foe, but you get the picture. Actually, before that, let me see if I can run off the canopy. It's always a fun thing to do. This is the one where I was always like trying to escape it and run into the water. Usually you should be able to do it. There you go. There we go. Alright, be right back. Okay, I'm back. Hopefully it wasn't standing there too long.
Agro!
Where you going, Aggro? Time for number 4. Our favorite. Actually, I found a fairly definitive way to, and let's hope it works with this one. But for the longest time, number 4 was the one that we were having an issue with. Probably might have spent... I would say it was up there as far as spending time on a single Colossus. But this was the one that was a pain in the ass because you needed to get it to trigger a particular animation. When I was doing time attack mode, I knew it was going to be a nightmare, but I found kind of a way to get it done. So let's hope it's applicable with the remake. That way we can sort of do this in a fairly short order. If not, then I guess we'll just have to fool around with it like we did with the original game when I streamed that a couple days ago. A couple weeks ago. Oops. Trampled one of those lizards.
Yeah! Yeah!
Yeah, they'll be alright. Not really, but, you know. Doesn't matter too much.
Yeah!
Still kind of a tight little ledge here that you gotta trim across. There's little entryways where the caverns go to. And there it is. Just sitting there, menacingly. Okay.
Yeah!
So,
Yeah!
best thing I found to do: run across to the furthest hill here. Jump off. And we wait. We don't antagonize it. It'll come here. We just gotta wait. Get a little look at the surroundings. And once it gets pretty stinking close, like closer than this, I'd say maybe here, start running through this thing.
Aggro!
Call aggro, see if it comes to you. You're gonna run over to the opposite side, and you are not gonna do anything to reveal your location. You're not gonna step out. You're not gonna antagonize, nothing. You're gonna let him do his thing. You wait, you see if he triggers that animation. If he does, you're good. Aggro's here. Wouldn't get on him yet. Okay, so there he goes. And for the most part, I don't think I've ever had a problem with doing that particular method. It seems to have worked for me almost every time. Aggro's nearby, great. We can make time a little bit quicker. Run over there. If he isn't, you should still have enough time to run over to him and hop on. Even if you miss the jump a couple times. But, like I said, it works for me pretty much in every instance, so I never really had a problem with it. Hard mode, he's got 3 points. One on each shoulder here. And then the one on the head. Oh, I'm noticing the stamina meter is becoming a bar, actually. So they did actually change it to be a bar, but you still have You still have the circular thing to indicate your charge, which I guess is fine. It's a little more, I guess, definitive to have a bar like that as opposed to the small increments when it's just strictly a round meter, but still. Step up off here for a second, regain some stamina. Seems like the shoulder weak points don't really have a whole lot of health in them. That's it. Head go down, jump over, now you're at the head point. I guess all the remaining health is going to be in here. I found when doing time attack, there's a certain rhythm that you keep up with stabbing, and sometimes it's not always about getting that full charge, but just trying to keep consistent with the stabs, because it does sort of stagger the Colossus to the point where you can just keep repeatedly stabbing without it like shrugging you off. Now, that doesn't work for all of them, but it seems to be fairly consistent with most of these guys. So, land of the gravestones. Took down the stag. But yeah, I mean, obviously, when there's some that have like some sort of gimmick attached to it, like the ones, you know, most of the serpents where they dive after a little while in their respective element. Sometimes, you know, that kind of stuff is going to impede you. But with a lot of these like freestanding ones, especially, and there's just like a point where you have to just keep hammering at it. It seems like if you get a particular rhythm going, and you're just consistent with the stabs instead of just waiting for the full charge, like maybe like 3/4 or even half, you can just keep stabbing away at it without it shaking you off too many times. And we did that one a lot faster than in the original, but yeah, the tactic I found works. So just got to remember it for any future playthroughs. Looking at the stream preview at like 160 resolution. It's probably at like 30 frames a second too. It looks probably less than that actually, like 20 frames. Kind of looks like the original. Thy next foe is... It casts a colossal shadow across a misty lake. As it soars through the sky, to reach it is no easy task. We'll see if we can do this one in one go. You gotta do it in time attack mode with very little stamina, but it is possible. Sometimes there is a point when you're on those ends of the wings, though, where you do run out of stamina and you basically just have to... I mean, it works itself in a way where, like, the timing of it is just perfect enough where the bird will flip upright and you'll be able to walk across the wings right as you lose all your stamina. But it's not an easy one. I mean, if I can't do it, I can't do it. Whatever. I'm not gonna like retry it until I'm able to do it in one go. But you got to do it for time attack mode, and it's not always fun. Fortunately, getting out here, we'll get to a grove where some trees are, so we can collect some fruit, and there's one shrine, so we get a little bit of stamina boost. Those don't provide that much, but, you know, every little bit helps. I'm actually going to go for the trees first, double back around, and we'll get the lizard and save. There too, I forget. The fruits on this one are much more prominent. A lot easier to see. I remember when I came up here playing the original, though, I was surprised. I'm like, God damn, they give you a lot. There's a lot of fruit up here. To the point where I was starting to question, I'm like, is the fruit, is it temporary? Does it give you all that health permanently? It does. It's just that sometimes you find these trees and they bear a lot of fruit. And unlike the stamina increases that you get from the lizard tails, the fruit is much more significant. You can max out your health bar so much faster. I would say just in one playthrough, just finding all the tree points, you'd be able to max out your health, and then some, if it would even let you go further than that. Pretty significant increase from here. Sort of wondering if there was a lizard on that little rock there, but I don't think there is. Alright, where are you at? I don't got all day. Dude, same with the last one too. I didn't like. I hear it. Don't see it when circling around. It's like in the original. All you gotta do is circle around it once, and you're usually gonna see it walking around somewhere. I wonder if it's necessary to hop up on top of these things. It is kind of nice to hear it. I guess just to definitively know whether or not it's actually here. But I don't know, it's also kind of weird. This will be a pain in the ass. I'm hesitant to drop down because it might go to a point where I'm not able to see it anymore. By that point, I was like, screw it. It's been such a pain in the ass to find. I'm not going to worry if I strike the tail off only.
Yeah.
Alright. Not too far here. I already see the entryway to the lake. Yep, under the water still as murky as it is in the original game. Sounds weird. I think a lot of the monster sounds, the Colossus sounds, are different. They don't sound like they do in the original. If it's not that, then it's another case of them doing a weird mix. I was kind of dicking around looking for a spot to walk out on in the original when we did this, but quickest one is over here, which this looks a little different. I don't remember the yeah, actually there's archways. It's kind of impressive because the bird's able to swoop underneath those archways, and not hit them. But I guess they decided to take him out. Maybe they thought it was unrealistic. Anyway, get out on here. Make sure it's the second one. Shoot it. And there we go. Whoa. Shit. It's holding on the grab button too. Jeez. Alright. Well, we're gonna have to redo it again. Any platform where you could get out on top of some of these stones should work. It looks like they removed some from some of these archways. Like there's usually 4, I think, underneath every point. So I find it kind of odd. Guess you're not always going to get lucky with grabbing onto those wings, though. They might have reduced the points that the platforms that you could stand on here, though, to like make sure there's a surefire way that you're going to be on a point where it's going to be able to grab onto you, or you're going to be able to grab onto it, I guess I should say. Yeah, they only give us 2 options there. Both those spots would be points where we'd be able to get on the wings. If you didn't pick the right one in the original game, you're not going to be able to grab onto it. So I guess they eliminated it. Seems like he's swooping around a little more than usual, though. Try to go for the full stab on these ones, because you're gonna get flipped around like that, which sucks. I think it's usually just 2, yeah. There we go. So time attack hard mode, they give you just enough grip where you will basically lose it as soon as you outlast the second flip. Shit. Bouncing me around a little bit. All right, that's number 2. So we'll go for the one on the tail now. Don't get flipped around, I don't think, as much when you're on the tail. There we go. Riding the wind. So we did it in one go once we actually got on the thing. I fell off the first time, but I didn't make any stabs first time around, so you see that it's possible to do, though, in one attempt. Let's see if it's like in the original where the ones that land in the water seem to take a little bit longer to reach you. There we go. Almost looked like it was going to tip over, but stopped short suddenly. Thy next foe is a giant lurks underneath the temple. It lusts for destruction, but a fool it is not. I'm no fool either, so I guess we've reached an impasse. So this is old Beardy McGee. Take us through the forest, though, which there's a couple points in there where we could collect full white-tailed lizards.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think there might even be a tree or something in that area, too. We'll take a look.
Yeah.
Gonna approach it from a different angle, though. Go to the side here, since there's a shrine that's not otherwise gonna be in our direct path anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
Actually, a couple lizards that are just kind of hanging out in the fields here, too. Might be a little harder to pinpoint without the stone, though. Lizard stone that marks them on your map. But there's a couple, I think there's like 2 points. Just kind of like on the cliff sides here where they're just running around. Anyway, here's the first shrine. I hear it. Hopefully that means it's visible from the ground, because I'm not a fan of just climbing up these things for no reason. Even got just the tail, too. No memory cards to pull up, so it's actually pretty fast to save at these things. I don't think they get marked on your map either if you don't actually save at them, so
Yeah. Yeah.
probably not a bad idea, too. I haven't really looked at the map. Hey. There's some area I've been through. We were through that canyon a little bit when we were working on the number 3, the night. And, that should be cleared up. There's all these clouds over there. Alright. So this is one of like 3 entryways into this little forest here. There's a shrine, and then there's a little exit sort of near the shrine. This looks pretty dense. Lots of foliage.
Yeah.
Lots of god rays. That looks nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's an exit near the shrine that doesn't lead to anything except for a tree and a lizard, so it'll be within our interest to check that out too. Aggro moving awfully slow though.
Yeah.
I don't want to move any faster than this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Forest section isn't too big though. Actually, just since you're going a little slow, probably faster if I just walk out. Here it is. Sort of reminds me of the forest where you fight the fear in Snake Eater. I wonder if they have like rights to use those assets. Probably not. I'm sure Konami has a tight grip on all that, but they did develop those games, those remakes. Whoa, Jesus. Actually curious if they have any hand in the new Metal Gear Solid 3 Delta. I think that one's all done strictly in-house at Konami, though. Wouldn't be surprised if they did. Seems right up their alley. Not only did I get it, I got just the tail, too. Not bad. I'm gonna hold off on saving at this point. Let's go out this way. Marksman. I ain't bad sometimes. I've always said my greatest attribute when it comes to any sort of talent like that is my ability to aim. Most carnival games I've ever won had to do something with aiming and shooting at something. Okay, so there's a fruit tree here. There it is. And there's also a lizard. I think I'll be able to get it there. I knocked it over, but I didn't actually kill it. Killed it that time. Oh boy, problem here is I don't know if I could be able to get these. I bet you can't attach a rope to a bow and arrow here. Yeah, you shoot them and they fall right off. I think that's how it worked in the original too. So they didn't change things up to make it more convenient. 2 fruits here, but you knock them off, they fall right down the cliff. You cannot get them. I don't think anyway. I could try climbing down there. I mean, there is one just sitting there, but I don't think I can get back up, so pretty sure you're just gonna fall. He's unwilling to go any further than that, so I don't think we could go. Can't do it.
Yeah! Yeah! Yeah!
And it's kind of weird when you're not on like one of those direct trails. Aggro does not want to move fast through that forest. I don't get it. No problem in the original, I don't think. If you're close to a tree or something, might slow down a bit, but not like that. I'll just walk out to the exit. I'm actually not even sure where exactly it is. On horseback, you're right. Run right up to it. I think that goes to that canyon bridge. We're looking for the exit that takes us to the desert. I don't want to go so far that I could loop back around to the... Here it is. The tree. Aggro nowhere to be found. Got lost in that forest, taking too long. That's weird too. It's like you whistle and then like something stops him short. Not too sure what that's about. I don't remember a little exit here. What is this? There you are. Took you long enough. This had to have been in the original, but yeah, I don't think I remember an exit here. Unless they just put like a shitload of trees around here, because when you... Oh no, this goes out to the little lake thing. Yeah, I don't even remember being able to access this. Sort of strange. So I bet you can jump down. I was trying to, look, and those fruits are back. What I was trying to do was, like, drop off the side and then ledge hang, but it wouldn't let me do that. I don't think I've ever been here before, actually. I don't think I've ever done it in the original game. Because I thought this was just a barren location that you were not able to access. What's going on with the crosshair? Why did it, like, vanish? It's, like, a little off-center. So anyway, yeah, you probably can get those fruits. That's it. Yeah, I'm not seeing any others. All right. Well, I'm not going to bother getting the trees on the cliffside there, but good to know that you can actually, more than likely, access them. No clue you can walk down here, though. Like, there's even this little spot. I wonder if there's a lizard in this area. There's a waterfall. That's neat.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll have to check. When we boot up the original, I'm going to have to go back to that point. I think I'm going to go check out the Eco Beach when we go back to the original game and check it out. So on our way to that, we'll see if that little spot exists, because I don't remember that. I've come through the forest area to get to the desert a number of times, and I don't remember there being like a little spot where you could duck out like that, but it might have just been a case of tunnel vision.
Yeah.
Let's hit up the other shrines while we're sort of making our way through here. Big canyon area, also another spot on the map, on the world map, where there's just a lot of lizards roaming around the area. Whitetail ones. There's a lot of like regular lizards too, but a lot of whitetail ones. Just in various locations, just like on the ground, on the cliff sides, everywhere. Not gonna risk it going away. We're still trying to make some decent time here. Even if I am going off on these little wild goose chases.
Yeah.
Big old desert there is where the sky serpent is. A couple of those rock formations. There is, we'll just go to it. It's not that far away. There's a fruit tree there, and then I think there's a lizard on this rock as well. If it's not on this one, it's the one next to it. Oh, look at that. Little dust devil cooking up. seen any fruit on that one. I feel like there usually is. Was it just the two then? Kind of lame. Spend too long looking for it, but I feel like there's usually a lizard around this rock formation. Not seeing or hearing it though.
Yeah.
And then along this canyon wall somewhere, I wouldn't know the exact point, but there's should be one along here too. Remember it being relatively close. I also remember this rock face being a lot steeper. Anyway, I remember the lizard being somewhat close to the temple area here. But here we are. Let's see. They still got the turtles. They still got turts in this area. I ain't seeing them. Where are the turts at? Ain't a whole lot of animals in the Forbidden Lands. You got birds. You got white birds. You got two different types of lizards, and you got turtles. I think it was this one, like on this temple when we walked up to it. I'm like, oh, I don't remember there being turtles. They're all roving around here. Not seeing them though. So they either didn't put them, or I was thinking of some other spot. This looks kind of cool. Normally you're supposed to climb down this big thing. Of course, last time I just fell off. But it actually ended up working to my benefit because it gave us a little bit of a lead-in time. Look, there's this giant brazier that's lit here. This wasn't here in the original game. Anyway, I fell off as a mistake, but I found that it did actually give us a little bit more leeway when running across the walls. Not that it matters too much, but sometimes it could be a little finicky and you might destroy a wall before you're able to clear it, so. No choice in the matter when you're doing time attack though. They start you right off at the, basically at his feet. Oh wait, no, they just they moved me back. Okay, so in the original game, if you fall off, you just start where you fell from. But here they restart you back at the beginning as if that didn't even matter. So, oh well. Don't like that, but whatever. Nice and bright. Actually, it should be one on his palm there, or on the back of his hand, but usually when he looks down, at least in the original, he flattens out his palm. Oh, like that, yeah. Maybe he only does it when he's standing up. There's like 3 points on this guy, though. I think there's the one on the top of his head, there is one on his back, and then there's the one on the hand that I mentioned. I think this is one of those ones where if you have a rhythm with the stabs too, you can stop him from flinging you around too frequently. Dissipated. Usually save the back one for last. Sometimes. If I could go for the hand first, I'd probably go for the hand first, but he wasn't doing it, so I just decided to hop onto the gear. But if you're doing it in this order, it'd probably be best to go for the head first. Again, when you're on a vertical plane like this, it's harder to climb back up and save a reasonable amount of stamina. So it's usually best to get like the ones that are easier to jump off of first. Get to a point where you can regain your stamina while on the Colossus. Go ahead and hide again. Let's see what he does, because normally when he starts looking for you, he's supposed to lie his hand down flat on the ground, and then you can just hop up onto his hand there. But he only laid it flat when he was picking himself back up, so I don't know if that's like a new thing, or I don't think that's how it always happened. Watch, we'll see if he does it again. So he puts his hand, he's got his hand kind of on the ground, but like fingers are raised a bit. So let's see. So it's like, yeah, when he's picking himself back up, that's when he like places it flat on the ground, which is weird. Easy enough. It's one of the easier ones. We discussed it during the original game, but I think because the previous one is sort of a leap in difficulty, it might give you an easy one here. The hardest part is trying to figure out how to get on top of it, get it to lower itself, because you don't know where to go right off the bat, and you're just kind of like wandering around trying to jump on it from like one of the walls or something like that, which I think the very first time I played this game was probably the approach I tried to do. You ain't gonna get very far until you finally find those little crevices in the back. So it's one of those deals where I think it's like when it's your very first time playing and you're completely blind to the aspects of how to beat it. You're not gonna know what to do right off the bat, and it might take you a minute. But once you know, you know. What is that, 6? 6 Colossus. Thy next foe is a ruin hidden in a lake. Ripple of thunder lurks underwater. The sea serpent. This one's a little bit far out there. Takes some work to get to. All right, we got a journey.
Yeah!
Let's get to it.
Yeah!
I think instead of weaving around the canyon, because there's not really a whole lot for us there in the canyon, I'm gonna kind of go start with the same approach where we went for the last one. Except we're not going to go into the forest area, we're just going to skirt along the edge here. See if I can find some of those lizards. Hit up a couple of the shrines. Kind of funny when I play some of these strictly visual improvement remakes. It's like a lot of times it's like doesn't feel like, whoa, that's a big jump. Whoa, it seemed a little unnatural. It doesn't seem like they're like, even if it's generations like this one, is 2 generations past when the original one came out. But it doesn't feel that much different. I mean, I guess that's probably a good thing in some respects. I mean, I'm all for making a game more accessible for later generations. So that's kind of what this is. And, you sort of dress it up a little bit, but everything feels pretty much the same. It's like, if I was using the new control scheme, maybe that would feel a little bit different, but I honestly don't mind the original one. It's not, exactly completely modernized, obviously, and aspects of it feel a little dated for some people, but completely functional for me. I have no problem with the controls whatsoever. But even with this graphical update, it's like I'm not really feeling like, again, like when I first started it, like I'm completely wowed by the quality of it. There's still like pop-in and stuff too, so that's part of it. It's like, look at where we are right now, and we're just kind of roaming around, and this grass is coming in no more than like 20 feet ahead of us. So not that impressive when it does stuff like that. The original didn't have any grass at all, but at least it wasn't rendering in late. Got another fruit tree. I don't know if it's just me, but some of these fruit trees don't seem like they have nearly as much as they did in the original. I seem to remember some of these having a lot more. But I could be thinking of other ones too, other locations. The one that was right in front of the bird Colossus, I think probably had the same amount because there was a shitload over there.
Yeah.
But a lot of times we come to these points, I remember like even these smaller trees, the one that's in back of me right here,
Yeah.
having fruit.
Yeah. Yeah.
You gotta grow stuck. I'm gonna wander off and call aggro. We'll see if that helps. Here's a fruit. Different shaped one too. These look like chili peppers. Come on now, I dropped 3 of them. Oh. They might have fallen into the cliffside. Pretty sure that happened in at least one instance when I played the original too, because I dropped one and I'm like, alright, where'd it go? Just vanished. I think it just phases through these rocks sometimes.
Yeah.
Alright, we need to continue on. Not get too close to this area. Maybe we do need to get to this area. Sort of this barren looking spot is where the turtle Colossus is, which I think is number 8. So we'll be getting to it pretty soon here, but 8 or 9. Oh, there it is. I think one of these rock formations around here has a lizard as well, but I'm gonna dig around for those, especially if I don't know for sure.
Yeah.
The only reason I knew before as well and was able to find them was because I had the lizard stone. So you have that activated in the menu and pull up the map and it'll show you. But without the detection stone, a little bit harder to find them. Should be able to access a canyon point around here. I think that was another fruit tree spot, but it doesn't look like it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Something looked a little brighter than the rest of the stuff around it, but that was just a tree stump asset. Okay, back in the canyon. I think it's past the... Normally when we're coming from the other angle, we have to go down the steps, so like down and past the steps, so I think it should be down this way. Boy, when I was playing this on my own time in the original version, trying to get all the lizards and stuff, sweeping the area with the lizard detection stone. I went all up and down this map, so I think I'd be familiar with it by now. I feel like I'm more familiar with it than when we were playing it a couple weeks ago, for sure. But Still, so much of this is slightly on the confusing side.
Yeah.
Is this right? This might not be right. That goes to, I don't think that's right. I don't think we go down there.
Yeah.
I think that goes that way with like the spires and stuff. I think that goes to, ow, the weird dog, Colossus. Where you have to like kind of parkour around the map. I think we should still be able to get to the lake one from down one of these paths. Shouldn't be too hard to find.
Yeah.
Here is another fruit tree though. And there's also a shrine right over the hill. Getting that health bar up. Not like it matters too much. Like I said, health is very much secondary to stamina. I was confident I got it. Didn't. They're still kind of bright in this version, but definitely I feel like in the PS2 version, they shine a little brighter. Or at least the tail does. It's moving around a little bit too much for me, so I wasn't going to try and shoot just the tail with that one. Okay. Got that out of the way.
Yeah.
We should be able to take kind of like this path around the corner once we head to the right. And I think it should still get us sort of to the lake area. Actually, let's just make sure. Yeah, so we kind of need to go in that direction.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which should be where the path takes us. Big old canyons here. Trees don't look that great. I mean, they probably look better than they did in the PS2 version, but I do like the increased amount of them. Of course, again, they're trying to replicate a particular look, Southwest America, which, I mean, you know, surprisingly has a decent amount of green. But still, it's supposed to be relatively barren. Wait a sec, the spits is out at a pretty open spot. Are we still able to...
Yeah.
Actually, oh, okay, no, we're right where we need to be. Let's hit up this shrine first, and then we go up that hill and lake is right over it. Just want to make sure I hear it before I start ascending all the way. There we go. All right. It turned around a little bit, but it's probably for a benefit. Able to find a couple shrines. I was thinking of the wrong steps. It's these steps. Of course, it didn't really matter too much because we were still able to get where we needed to by going down the other steps, but whatever. For whatever reason, it feels so much smaller in this version. Maybe it's because you could see more. I think it's got a lot to do with the draw distance. I think when you can't see as much, it gives you the impression that there's more. But when you can see everything, it makes it all feel smaller, tighter, more confined. It's still a big-ass lake. I mean, let not go unsaid. Look, I think there's another point over there that we could access. I don't know that I've ever accessed the lake from that point. Maybe something over there, too. I don't know. Okay. Time attack mode. You can't really do anything to draw its attention except for like splash around the water. I think jumping gets its attention more than anything, jumping in the water. But you kind of have to make it attracted to you and angry at you if you want it to surface. So try to employ those tactics here. It seems to circle around the partially submerged like bridge platform that we just kind of jumped near. This thing. Boy, it is moving. Try to meet it around on the other side. Try to get to its general location. It's kind of going way out there, jeez. Seems like a time attack mode when it starts you off. It starts off kind of like in this spot. There it goes. So I think jumping gets its attention. It's the only thing I found that you could really do to make noise. So jump around, you can see the eyes turn orange. And then just try to predict where it's going to rise out from. Easier said than done, I know, but it's the best method. And the colors are so dark too, it's hard to even tell in some of the diving points where Wander is. I'm not seeing a difference in the fur patterns either, which is concerning. The different colorations in the fur patterns is kind of like where you know you need to stop. So we got across its back really fast. I don't feel like that's normal. Like not at least as far as the original's concerned. Well, it still comes to a point where it stops you by diving under the water. Although I was going to be really shocked. I mean, we got pretty damn close, but I was going to be really, really shocked if we could do all that in one go. Because you can't do that in the original. But still, I feel like, I don't know if they shorten the length or what. Maybe it's just one of those things too, like, you know, the frame rate's faster, so it feels like it's faster. But I feel like we cleared the length of its body, like, at twice the speed that you can in the original. Speedrunning strat. Told you I'm famous for my speedruns. As in the original, it should still be the case that all the electric little pylons on its back stay inactive, which it looks like they do. Yeah, I really don't like the fact that it doesn't appear to have, maybe it's like a brightness issue or something, or maybe it's just like my TV screen, but I don't like that you can't see a difference in the coloration on the fur, because it makes it a lot riskier. But again, we cleared the damn thing in like half the time it usually takes, so I guess that's maybe a trade-off or something, I don't know. Oh, geez. What is this? This is weird. Waves of lightning. That was weird. It was like it like brought it like bumped itself up repeatedly, very quickly, several times. I don't remember that ever happening in the original. I mean, it was a hindrance. I had to start just hanging onto the fur and crawling along it, as opposed to running right up to the tip there. But yeah, that was weird. Got another long one before it reaches us. next foe is a tail trapped within a pail deep within the forest. Shadow that crawls on the walls. Alright, this is our little weird like armadillo thing. This one's kind of in a weird spot too. Well, fairly close by.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just make sure I'm going to the right one. To see if I can remember how to do like the weird horse tricks. You could do certain things, like you could hang off of the side. We saw it briefly when I was doing the Sky Serpent in the original stream, but it was like standing on Aggro's back. Just inexplicably, there was like a big old dust storm that was getting kicked up by the guy, and then suddenly we were just on the back. Oh my goodness, we got a raid coming in. Scoob, how you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for dropping in. Welcome everybody. We are doing some Shadow of the Colossus Remake. I streamed all of the Team Eco games prior to this. So and the original versions too. We got done with the original PS2 version of Eco, the original PS2 version of Shadow Colossus, and then off of the PS5 we played The Last Guardian. So with all those done, I figure we might as well go back and take a look at the remake here, which I never actually played the remake version of. We're seeing how it stacks up compared to the original. So far, not bad. I'm liking that Aggro can cross this bridge at full speed, which is nice.
Yeah.
What is up? Mr. Scoob, good to see you. How you doing? Oh, I just hit my mic stand too. You get to play the original on the NES as well. Of course, you know me. I'm always going for the original versions. Even the non-existent ones, like Shadow of the Colossus on NES. Let me get you a shout out here. There we go. Shadow of the Pac-Man. You're doing Endless Dungeon. All right. That must be a new one for the year, huh? You've been doing a lot of the finals and stuff, too. I don't even know what Endless Dungeon is. It sounds familiar. When did that come out? Oh, that came out this year. Or no, last year. Last year in October, so still fairly fresh. Looks interesting. Well, I hope you enjoyed it. Game night with a wife, I got you. It's fun, action RPG with tower defense. All right. It's on sale on Steam right now. I might take a look into it. But yeah, it looks interesting. But game night with the wife takes priority. Thank you for the raid. Thank everybody that came in here with that. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate you most of all, Scoob. Thank you. Always glad to see you around. We're getting into one of the more interesting Colossi. This is going to be the weird little armadillo thing that hangs on the walls and shoots out gas spikes at you, so we'll see how well we stack up against that. We got to go inside its little lair here. Unfortunately, Aggro cannot come with, even though it wants to. Actually, it's able to cross that little bit of water there. In the original game, that water was too deep. Too deep for Aggro to actually get down. Won't be able to jump down here for sure, but still, it's surprised that they like rectified that little bit there. See how this looks. On some level, I know I've been talking like, you know, I don't really care about a lot of the visuals, but on some level, especially on the more interesting locations, I am sort of curious to see what they did, particularly with like these temple areas. It seems like they put a little bit more effort into these spots. Some of them look really cool. Like the second to the last one we did, which was the big bearded one inside that little temple there. I like the entry point in there. Had all these little shafts of light breaking through little pieces of the entry hallways to the temple. It's got nice little ruins around it. Okay. So here we are. There's a fairly definitive way you can attract this one. And it's again using the whistle to call attention to the Colossi. But as we may or may not know, it needs to be on the walls, and you need to shoot it down from the walls in order to access its weak points. So best thing to do is start making your way down, because you don't want to get it too high, then it becomes a little harder to hit. But go down a couple levels. Probably want to pull out the bow too. Maybe there, whistle, and you hear the music change up. Music's changed up because it's now you got its attention. Now it's coming after you. So he didn't start moving, and I think I was in a bad spot because he was able to see me. So in this instance, let's get a little closer to him. You can always use the Colossus lock-on mode to kind of get a feeling of where he's at. So before you completely exit and like ruin your surprise attack, take a look and make sure that he's actually up there. So I'm pressing L1 and locking on him there. And then you can start firing on the legs. So with the legs, it drops down, and you're able to get the weak points. This being hard mode, there are 2 weak points here, and it takes a bit of doing. I think you could usually get about 3 good shots in before he rolls over. And you want to get off him before he rolls over, because then it's like this big pain in the ass. So get up to the second level, whistle. So if he's coming up, and then continue on to the next exit point and work your way down. That bow out. Lock, make sure he's climbing. You can see if he's ascending, which it looks like he's kind of on ground level, so I don't know that we got his attention good enough. Take a peek out here, rotate the camera. Kind of got out. Got up, I should say, but not really. Sometimes you might want to stick around a little longer up on the second level. Looks like he's gone up though. He's gone up. Even this is fine. Camera's not working with me though. There's something weird about this camera. Okay. Just stick with one point until we know it's definitively gone. I think it's usually 6, but kind of hard to tell, especially with the newer version of this game, since you don't have like that bright glow. Can't quite tell for sure if it's dissipated or not. We'll know, obviously, by the time we get on him the third time. A couple times, usually seems to be the ticket. I'm gonna try and get down before he can actually see you though, because if you start moving down and he knows where you're at, then he's just gonna start walking towards you, which he might have done here, actually. I don't know. So we might not be able to do this as quickly as possible. I don't think I got in as many hits as I probably should have been able to. That's alright. I think he's coming up. The lock on, see if he's ascending or if he can ascend a little bit further. So he's up there. The bottom one is still not out. Okay, I think I finally dissipated there. Hopefully by the next little attack run, I think we'll get it. I think he's coming up. Might be best just to use the lock on. Right when you get out too, because it seems to point the camera like, kind of right where you need it. Alright, one more full hit should do. There you go. Scaler of the Colosseum. So not too bad. I remember, especially early on, that one being one of the trickier ones for me. But once you kind of recognize the pattern and what you need to do, and the fact that, you know, you need to be able to get it to go up and scale up a little bit without it actually knowing where you are. Once you kind of understand that aspect of it, it's not too bad. But just trying to, you know, lure it into a direction and then like fire at it when you're not ready for it, that can be a little hard. So best to get it to go up, drop down to the bottom level without it knowing where you are, and then fire at it from down there, and then you can just hop on and start stabbing. Thank you for the GG, appreciate it. Hey, you said mono there. I don't remember that. That is number 8. I think that was number 8. So we're halfway through. I guess it would make sense because we got a little cutscene here. You can already sort of see the shadows taking effect on him. Dorman. He's looking a little veiny. I don't remember it registering that like drastically this early on though. Thy next foe is The land where trees nary grow, it sleeps in a dry lake bed. A rude awakening. This might be the, okay. I remember, like, why is it talking about a lake? And I was thinking this was the one with the weird teeth on the head. But... Oh, no, you know what? No, this is the turtle. Yeah, because I remember that being number 9. Because we beat 8 of them for sure. So this is the turtle. A lot of talk of lakes in this game, I guess.
Yeah! Yeah!
I think the next 2 after that, this one, they talk about lakes. We're making some pretty good time, though. In the original, my stream of the original game from a couple weeks ago, I think we were like 4 hours in by the time I got to this Colossus. So, I mean, shows what knowing what the game does and what you need to do takes you, how far it takes you along. Who'da thunk it? I think we were exploring a little bit more while playing the original game too. Maybe just a tad. It's not like we haven't done that with this one, but... I feel like I was, I don't want to say I was more invested in it, but especially after having not played it for so long. Like playing this now, the remake, it feels like I'm just playing it on a second run through, like immediately after finishing the original one. But, playing the original PS2 version after having not played it for so long was almost like experiencing it for the first time again. It was pretty fun. Was there a manual save? There is a manual save. It even says manual save. Sure. Did we get this shrine? Wrong button. We did not get this shrine. I even see the lizard right off the bat. That is a rare occasion. Shit. I squandered it. Started to move, so I was like real keen on getting it right off the bat, but might have cost me a few more minutes. I'm not going to worry about like hitting the tail only with this one. There we go. Alright. Some more chapstick on. Lips are getting dry.
Yeah! Yeah!
Alright, we can already see the lake bed from here. There it is.
Yeah!
Big, barren, empty, and ugly. Not a jumping off point.
Yeah!
Oh, let me tell you. Sounds like my ex-wife.
Yeah!
That's what I hear when you say that.
Yeah!
Where is... Oh, there it is.
Yeah!
Alright. Let's see if we get as lucky this time around with this one as we did with the original version. because we were able to get it done so fast while we streamed this, the original game. Like, surprisingly so. Alright. Turtle Colossus incoming. Again, this is the one that shoots laser beams at you. Yeah, I guess less laser beams and more photon torpedo-ish. It's funny in the original... No, it wasn't the original. It was Next Generation. Next Generation Star Trek. There was like a primitive ship that was trying to attack the Enterprise, and when they figured out what weapons they were using, they're like, "Sir, the enemy ship is using lasers to attack us." Lasers had been so far in the past that it was just completely obsolete. You don't need lasers, you need phasers. We got it on the geyser. But, it ain't rising. It's not rising to the top. Need to get it a little closer to this side. Oh, it's moved off of it. Yeah, we got really lucky, when I streamed the original version, because we had gotten it, like, right onto a geyser. Like, right off the bat. I think he's positioned good for it here, though. Let's see. Side's gonna tilt. It's gonna be this one. Alright. Need to run to the opposite end. You can actually skirt, at least in the original, underneath the tail here. Be able to get under that leg too, now that I think about it. Trying to jump my way across, but ain't doing it. Need to be able to get onto this ledge before he flips over. Grab on! Oh, man. I don't remember there being anything, like, too special about the hard mode version of this one. I don't think there was any, like, super additional weak points. There might have been, but I really don't think there was. Alright, when he's wiggling around like that, you should be able to just jump over that. Not always the best option, but it gets the job done. This might be one of the last times we hear this theme. If this is the only weak point, which I think it might be, there's a small possibility that there's one on the side, but I think this might be the only one. We should be able to hop off and regain some stamina on the back, but yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to do this all in one go, not with this much stamina. I say I'm going to give it one more stab and then probably duck off. little recovery, but that was a bad stab. Should be a point, since there's nothing to grab onto when you center your gravity and like crouch, you should still regain stamina. When you're on fur and you crouch, he grabs on and that prevents your stamina from recovering. But when you're on the back of the shell like that, you should still be able to recover. Yeah, this is the only weak point. I think I was shocked by that when we did the original version too. I think the idea is it's so hard to get it. Like once you figure out that it needs to go over the geyser, it's so hard to get it over the geyser and then shoot the feet and then like wrap around and climb over the damn thing. It's like all of that is such a big pain in the ass, especially when you're playing it first time around and trying to figure out what you need to do. That it's like you better only get one weak point. So if there's multiples, it's gonna be hell to pay. Quickie, a little bit. Knowing what to do helps. There is definitely that aspect of it, but yeah, we've been kind of breezing through them. But that's just because I played not only played through the original through that stream, but also did that time attack, and I just found like the quickest way to do everything. But yeah, this would have been a lot. I mean, we would have been breezing through these a lot faster if I did normal mode. So it's a good thing they let you pick the hard difficulty mode right off the bat, at least for my particular instance. Otherwise, yeah, this would have felt like nothing. Thy next foe is an isolated sand dune. His tracks are well hidden. Shaking the earth, its gaze is upon thee. So this is the sand serpent. A couple different ways to get to this one. We might take the long way around. I might take the long way around, and then I might end on this one after where we ended on that first stream. We've been going through it so fast, though, that I think the second stream probably isn't going to take us quite as long. So I think what I want to do, because I don't think what I have planned to do when I go back to the original game is going to take that long. Maybe like 30 minutes to an hour tops. So I want to probably do as much as I can with the first stream here. And then we'll kind of make the second stream a little shorter. Like, depending on how far I get, I might be able to beat it in a couple hours. So what I might do is I might play this off stream a little bit just to get like all the fruit and all the whitetail lizards that I want. And then we could just go straight for the Colossus every time. That'll probably be a pretty quick affair, especially if we get these 10 done, and that just leaves 6. And you know, like not all 6 of these are going to be too hard to get through. Some of them are fairly easy. This tree in the corner here, I just wanted to grab it since we're sort of going in this way, this direction anyway. Kind of not going in this direction actually, but it's like it was close enough. I just happened to remember it was over here. Is that it? Nope. Still got a couple more.
Abro. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna chance it. We're gonna take the forest entrance. We'll see if we can get through the desert. Hopefully we can get through the forest relatively quickly. I mean, I guess I just gotta stick to the path, but aggro so slow through there. But that should spit us out right at the desert. And then from there we can kind of skirt across the back and then go across the big dirt bridge, which we didn't actually go through on the original game. So we'll get to see that. Couple shrines on the way over. Something about this game with the original lag. So, like, trying to compare it because originally I was saying this, like, I just said it once, but I was like, oh, this game came out in what, 2016? No, that was The Last Guardian. Last Guardian came out in 2016. This came out 2 years later. Pretty much handled by two different teams, but still, you can take a look at. Take a look at between the two of them because it's only a 2-year time difference, but there's just like this visual flair that Team Eco and Gen Design does that this one lacks. This game still looks good. It's just lacking that that Team Eco visual flair. I think it's that brightness, that blinding brightness. All right, Akiri, I appreciate you being here. Thank you for coming in on that raid. Thank you for lurking before that, too. But you have a good night. I will more than likely catch you on one of your streams next time. But until then, see you later. Have a good night. Appreciate you as always. So we're coming through here again. There's the temple where we fought the bearded Colossus. We did not continue on this way. Kind of in that direction where I'm zooming in on. That's sort of where the Eco Beach is, which we didn't take a look at. There's some other stuff kind of over in that area as well. Mostly like shrines and cliff sides and other things. But I don't think we stepped too far in this direction because there's not... You don't really need to come out here a whole lot. Unfortunately, with the original game, just because I wasn't as familiar with the map, but with the original, I went through the valley a lot because you can access a lot of the Colossus from the valley. The big canyon where, you know, we went to get the water serpent and the knight. But there's, like I said, there's so many different areas that you can take and go through to get to some of these Colossus. It's just kind of a shame to utilize one location, like one pathway and one pathway only. There's a lot of different variety which you could use to sort of weave your way around to where you need to get to. Most of the pathways that I chose, like going through the valley and stuff, that's just me relying on what I remember from like my first playthroughs of the game. So we got our shrine there. There's got to be fruit up here. Here it is. They look like pineapples on this one. Just the one? It's just the one. There's a little detail that I love with the original game. I wonder if it's do it here, but kind of. there's a different sound.
Yeah.
When you close the camera in real tight on aggro, you can hear the clinking of the chains and the bridle and the lead. It's very muted, but you can hear it in this one. It's more apparent in the original version, but it's like you don't normally hear that when you're, you know, even at this camera angle, like when the camera's panned out this far. It's like you don't hear that, but you tighten that camera in a little bit and you hear an additional layer of sound effect that you don't hear otherwise.
Yeah.
So here's this bridge. Again, we didn't see this. I didn't go this route in the original version.
Yeah.
But you gotta make a couple jumps. If you're going fast enough, it shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's just kind of like a cool little visual difference. It's nice to see something different. And then this is actually where you access the eco beach.
Yeah.
So down there, there's a little pathway, and you can sort of see the beach from here. But there's the entrance to the pathway. But you go down there, and then there's a beach, and it looks exactly like the beach that's at the end of eco. So that's why a lot of people would say that these games are like one of the many reasons why people say the two games are connected. But it's like the exact same location. Is it asset reusage? Is it just a fun little Easter egg? Who knows? Is it done intentionally? Can't say for sure. But there it is down there. We'll go take a look at it because it's much more apparent when you're playing the PS2 version. But in Eco would have washed up in that boat like maybe around there. I think that watermelon or something might be behind that rock. It's not in this game. At least it wasn't in the original version. I don't know if they put it in now. It's either behind that rock or that rock, but yeah, Eco would have been like washed up around there. And then he moves down to kind of like this spot. And that's where he finds Yorda. But I'm not going to bother going down there this time. Again, it's much more apparent when you do it in the original game, so we'll go explore that when we revisit the original. There might be a secret down there, I don't know, in this remake. Who knows? I'll have to take a look at the trophy list and see. Fun thing about the trophy list on PlayStation is that you can reveal what hidden trophies are. They'll let you do it. I feel like on Xbox and like Steam and stuff, they don't let you do that. Hidden trophies are hidden unless you take a look at a third-party guide. Thought I heard the damn lizard for like a second. Oh. Aggro was standing right on top of it. I think he kept knocking it over, too. He didn't, like, outright kill it, but he kept knocking it over, which is why I couldn't hear it. Always the last place you look.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on from here. There is a path that sort of winds up. There might be some fruit on this tree, too. Let's take a look. But we go up that path, and that starts taking us to the cave where the next Colossus is. Yeah, this looks like a fruit-bearing tree. Just because of how dense the foliage is, I think it's actually a little harder in some cases. You could definitely see the fruit once you see the color of it, but sometimes looking past all that foliage, I think it's a little harder to find them sometimes. Actually, I found when doing hard mode Sand Serpent. Oh shit, there's another one up there. When doing the hard mode Sand Serpent, this is probably the Colossus where I was losing the most health. Just because sometimes I can't do this one. I can't shoot the eyes. I think with the increased frame rate and how much more responsive the bow feels, I think it'll probably be easier. And I don't think I struggled that much with it. I think we beat it last time on the original game when I streamed it pretty quickly. But sometimes this one is a little hard for me to get done. Wait, is that a different tree? It's a different tree. It's like right behind the other one too. I should have seen it. I wonder how far the health bar stretches out. I wonder if it goes as far as the other one does visually, or if they try to condense it at all. Because once you max out the health bar in the original game, it pretty much clears from one side of the screen to the other. Now, that being said, the original is usually presented in a 4x3 format, so, you know, from one end of the screen to the other isn't quite as big as it is if you're doing 16:9. But still, it gets pretty large. This sort of looks a little different. As long as, okay. As long as we get to a point where the path starts zigzagging up, then we should be good. So it looks like that's what's happening here. There's that little plateau there, but I don't think there's anything there. I don't think there's anything up in this area until we find the shrine. This little overlook. Which is sort of neat. See a big old waterfall. Otherwise there isn't anything here, I don't think. I almost get like the lingering feeling like there's a lizard up here, but I'm not hearing it or seeing it. There's some down there, but those are like regular ones. Seems like the whitetail ones are the only ones that make the sounds too. They're special. It's another little plateau. I don't think there's anything up there. Take a quick peek over here. There's the shrine. Saw it for a split second before I whipped my camera around, but yeah, I don't think I see anything. Okay, so there's a shrine here, and then we can see the entryway to a cave. That entryway is where the Colossus is, so once again, the secondary route. I think for most of these guys, if we can help it, I'll see if I can take the second approach. Unless it's like stupidly out of the way. There was the one at the lake. I think there might be a second route over there, but it was kind of hard to tell. game apparently autosaves so often, there's not really a point in
Yeah.
saving there. I mean, I know they say, "Oh, regain your health," but I mean, what's gonna be draining it? Unless you're just being stupid and jumping off of stuff, which I guess could be a thing.
Yeah.
All right, so here we are. One of the cooler Colossus, in my opinion. I like this one, but I don't like it when it starts being a pain in the ass. If it's getting to the point where I'm having a big issue shooting the eyes, and I think part of it is like the animation for Wander turning around in aggro. I think that's part of it. Sometimes it's like doesn't quite keep up with where you're aiming, or he's not ready to fire, even though you have your reticle where it needs to be. And then on top of that, he's just weaving in and out of the sand so much that it can be a little hard to hit just in general. Kind of listen out for the music too, because I was told that the track for this one was unique. I don't think it's used for any other Colossus. The reticle. Much easier, much easier. Because he doesn't need to like turn around on aggro. He's like already ready to go. Whoa, that was a weird sound. Okay, I think like as part of a whoa, it's completely swallowed. As part of a mandatory issue, he needs to duck underneath the sand once you dissipate one emblem entirely. Where's he at? It's also another Colossus where it's handy to use the Colossus track button. It's not always, but this is one of them where it's probably a good idea to have that keyed up. Yeah, I got it. Okay. We got hit. Sometimes you can get onto it from the head too. Yes, I got it. Which is easier than going from the base, trying to climb up. There we go. Very easy this time around. Mystery in the sand. Yeah, part of that is the aiming, I think. And again, I don't think we had that much of an issue with it when we did the original stream, but I remember doing the hard, like after the fact, doing the hard mode version of this, and sometimes hitting those eyeballs was the biggest pain. And what I found, what the problem was Wander, it takes him a while to like turn around. There's like a certain position he needs to get into a good firing spot. Otherwise, he's just not going to fire at all. And with this game, it seems like they streamlined it. So, I mean, I'm kind of glad they did it, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, it's so much easier. So, I don't know if that takes away some of the challenge or what, but it's appreciated, I guess. thy next foe is an altar overlooks the lake. Guardian set loose, it keeps the flames alive. See, they say it overlooks a lake. I don't feel like it does, unless we're talking about the dry lake bed. This is the dog one, or whatever it is. Nah, it's more like a bull. I think we determined that. It's like a bull-looking thing. Or a boar. No, I think I said it was a boar. It had like tusks at the bottom. Sort of boar-like. But this is the one with the fire, where you need to scare it with the fire. Again, another one where I knew what to do, but I feel like with this go around, I have a much more foolproof method.
Yeah.
And sometimes because of the amount of health it has in hard mode, there's a slightly different approach that you could take to it that would make it a little bit more easier for you. So we'll check that out. But for right now, I think we're going to go ahead and call it. I got through 10 Colossus in about 3 hours, so not bad. I think we did the first stream, got not even this far, and we were like 4, almost 5 hours in. Then again, we were doing a little, hee-haw here and there, but otherwise, we still didn't go nearly as fast as we're going here, and this is the hard mode too, so I'm glad we're making good time. Second stream of this should go by faster, but again, we're going to be launching up the original game, so I could do a couple more extra little tidbits with the original. We'll climb the top of the tower and see the hidden garden area and everything, so it'll be pretty good. But so far so good with this one. It's not bad. I mean, as you've heard with how I've been talking about it, there are a handful of things I don't like, but for the most part, it's a pretty good representation of the original game, I feel. Nitpicky things here and there that I'm not too keen on, but otherwise, it's not a bad remake so far. So we'll keep on keeping on. We'll finish it up in the next stream. I will try to be back Friday, I think. Just to give me enough time to kind of do some extra stuff with this one. I think I want to explore a little bit, see if I can find some lizards, get some fruit, and upgrade the stamina a bit, just so that we know for sure that we can clear it without any like major hindrances. But yeah, I think I'll just give myself plenty of time to kind of clear that up, a couple days, and we'll wrap it up and wrap up the original too, but should be fun. Thank you guys for watching. Appreciate everybody that stuck by with the Scoob raid a little earlier, and everybody that was here to begin with. Thank you. There is nobody really streaming right now, so unfortunately I can't really raid anybody, so we'll just end it here. Need to kind of just leave you guys, but that's how it goes sometimes. I do stream a little on the late side. But anyway, you guys take care. Hopefully we see you next time on Friday. Finish up Shadow of the Colossus Remake. Go back to the original and wrap that up as well. But in the meantime, you guys take care. Have a good night. See you next time.